What up, everybody, and welcome to Baz on Blades. My name is Baz, and I talk about blades. Today's feature blade, we've got another cold steel product in the house. What we've got here is the Cold Steel Recon 1 in the drop point configuration. This particular example is a Blades Canada exclusive. You can find this at Blades Canada, and their website is warriorsandwonders.com. What this exclusive version is basically now a standard Recon 1 with CPM S35vn blade steel, but the exclusive is that you can get a satin finish blade, and you can see this is going to wreak havoc with my lighting and camera, and I apologize ahead of time for that. But what you're getting in this exclusive version from Blades Canada is the satin finish blade with satin finish hardware on the black G10, whereas in the United States all we get is black. It doesn't matter what color G10, you always are going to get the DLC coated blade and the black finished hardware. So let's talk about a couple of things on this Blades Canada exclusive. We'll bring out the box right here. Let's use it as a prop. We're going to knock out a couple of things about this because I know people will be asking questions. And there are a few things that you need to keep in mind on this exclusive version of the Recon 1. One, there is a price increase, and it is substantial. And by that I mean percentage-wise. You can get a new production CPM S35vn Recon 1 drop point in the United States for $99.95. This Blades Canada exclusive is going to be $132 shipped to the U.S., and that is a price increase of almost 30%, which is substantial. But in my opinion, we are already getting the Recon 1 at a steal of a price for $99 anyway. A price increase to $132 is unfortunate, but it is an exclusive version, and if this satin finish blade and hardware is worth that to you, I think that it's still a decent deal for what you get at $132. The next thing is, because of the ongoing issue at the U.S. and Canada border, it has affected Blades Canada's return policy. They are able to ship these knives out across the border to the United States, but they are not able to accept returns on them. Because more than likely they're going to be confiscated going back across the border into Canada, and it's going to be a loss for Blades Canada. So what is happening is I placed this order. They sent me an email saying, hey, we are so sorry about this. We are not going to be able to accept returns from the U.S. You would have to deal straight with Cold Steel. If this is okay, let us know and we'll ship it right out to you. And this being a Cold Steel Recon 1, I've never seen a Recon 1 with an issue. I said, just ship it to me. No worries there. If there is, I'll deal with Cold Steel. Now, the next thing is, apparently, if I am correct, I believe that Blades Canada will only ship within Canada and to the United States. So if you live somewhere else, you're going to have to jump through some hoops to sort of get this knife. Now, this knife is not mine. I have bought this as a favor to one of my viewers named Ed. And Ed lives in another country, and he's not restricted from having this knife, but because of Blades Canada's policy, shipping policy, we sort of had to work something out, and he sent me the money, and I had it ordered and then shipped to me, and then I'll turn around and ship it to him. And this is not the first time for Ed, and I don't care at all to do this for him or for any other of my other viewers. So just keep those restrictions and the price increase in mind, and we will go on from there. Now, You've got the pretty standard cold steel packaging here with a little bit of information on it, your barcode, your model number, blah, blah, blah. The knife comes in this box in a bubble wrap bag, and the second pocket clip for left-hand carry is also in there. Now, let's go ahead and knock out some specs on this. It's a standard Recon 1, guys. So your specs are standard Recon 1 specs. You're looking at about a 3 7/8 inch blade. That's about 10 centimeters. Your blade stock thickness, I got 127 thousandths of an inch, or 3 1/4 millimeters. The blade width, 1 1/4 inches, or 31 1/2 millimeters. The handle length, about 5 3/8 of an inch, or 13 1/2 centimeters. The handle thickness, 510 thousandths of an inch, or 13.1 millimeters. Handle width at the pivot, at the widest point, 1.53 inches, or 39 millimeters. Your closed width on this is 1.77 inches, or 45.18 millimeters. Overall length, 9 3/8 of an inch, or 23.5 centimeters. Stock pin diameter, 200 thousandths of an inch, or 5 millimeters. Behind the edge thickness, 25 thousandths of an inch, or 0.64 millimeters. Your handle to blade ratio, 0.74, and your weight, 5.29 ounces, or 150 grams. Now, we don't have to get super long on this video because I recently did a review video for my Recon 1 clip point, and as far as the build and the specs, it's almost 100% the same, except for a change in blade steel, where they were using CTS XHP for the blade steel. In these new versions and in this exclusive version, you're in Crucible's CPM S35vn. And again, S35vn, a modern high-performance stainless steel. It's high carbon, high chromium. It is a vanadium and niobium alloyed stainless steel, so it's going to be an aggressive and toothy cutter. You get very good edge retention, very good toughness, and very good corrosion resistance. And you typically get this around the 60-61 Rockwell range. It is a very well-balanced, high-end, premium stainless steel. It is not the ultra high-end, but it is a very good premium stainless steel and very balanced. In your handle, G10, stainless small parts, a hard coat anodized aluminum backspacer, stainless pocket clip. I mean, it's standard Recon 1 materials pretty much in modern Recon 1. Fit and finish wise, I will note that this is one of the more modern drop point variants, and it is in the flat grind rather than the hollow grind. With you get this more abrupt and sharp plunge grind here with an actual sharpening choil, and you can see you don't have any of the funkiness that was on the older version that was hollow ground with the wide swooping plunge grind. You'll have no issues sharpening this edge to termination. Fantastic there. That is a huge improvement not only on the drop point, but also in the clip point version. That's a huge improvement for the Recon 1 as far as I'm concerned. All right. But as far as the grinds go, you're in a vertical as machined satin on the primary grind here. You've got horizontal as machined satin on the flats. Everything, the grinds, guys, are even. There we go. All right, now focus. No issues there. The edge on this thing is super sharp. Cold Steel just continues to impress me with their factory edge on their blades. You've got the standard sort of asymmetrical thumb stud system for the Recon 1 with a large thumb stud for the primary side, and the off side has got the smaller stud with the flathead screw slot on it. You can take it out and flip it over for left-hand carry. I like that. It doesn't have to be the same size on either side, and it's easy to change out. It's easy to take off to sharpen the knife if you want to do that in your sharpener system. You've got plenty of flat here to clamp onto, and you've got that real sharpening choil, so no issues resharpening. This drop point does have a nice piercing point. It is fairly thin, guys, and I'm going to bring the clip point out here, and let's compare the two. You can compare the two right here. So you see that they are grinding this drop point fairly thin on the tip. It is barely thicker than the clip point. That's pretty stabby and nice for this drop point configuration in the newer flat grind. No jimping on the spine of the blade as normal. And really the billboarding for the Recon 1, while they do use large font size on their billboard and on their blades, I do like the Recon 1 that is used. The backside does get a little busy. You've got cold steel, you've got the blade steel, and you've got Taiwan on there. It's not too bad, guys. Not too bad at all, especially against the satin. You can see as I move it around and the light hits it, it's not something that really just stands out too awful bad. Fit and finish on the handle, perfect. It's Recon 1, guys. Other than the color, it's exactly the same. Very, very consistent as far as that goes. This is the coarse G10. And I would recommend my Bazon Blades G10 pocket clip modification. If you don't know about that, go into my videos, my mod shop videos in the playlist, and find that. It's a very easy modification to make. You can't even tell it's been done, and it does help getting that in and out of your pocket without shredding your pocket. Guys, satin finish small hardware. Satin finish on this lock bar. You've got a standard cold steel polished pocket clip here. I mean, fit and finish wise, there's nothing to argue with on this. So we're going to cut that short. Action wise and lock up, all of that, it is triad lock. This one is brand new. It has not been disassembled. It has not been cleaned. It is smooth out of the box. There is just the barest hint of maybe a little bit of grittiness on those washers. And that's probably just a little dust from the manufacturing. It's not bad at all. This one came with absolutely no play. It's got that slight little glass rod breaking tick to the triad lock that I really, really love. Yeah, it's pretty solid, guys. And with just a little tap there, it's drop closed smooth, and you get a nice flat here at the ricasso area of the blade that closes down towards your finger, so you don't have the edge of the blade closing on your finger. Anybody tells you that you cannot open and close a cold steel triad lock knife one-handed, they haven't tried. I mean, there's no problem. It's just as easy as any bearing pivot flipper with a frame lock as far as I'm concerned. It came perfectly centered, no issues there, and like I say, the lockup is super, super solid. As far as ergos, guys, this is just one of the best ergonomically shaped handle shapes that is out there, regardless of brand and price. You may get something different that feels just as good, but you are not going to find anything that feels any better, in my opinion, than the Recon 1 handle shape. It is fabulous in a forward grip. It's fabulous in a reverse grip. You can get by in a draw grip, especially if you come up here to the flat here at the pivot. You've got this nice flat area. You can come up to that and get really close to the blade there to do some draw cutting. You can use that flat in lieu of a forward finger choil if you want to get up on it and get real close to the cutting edge to work there. The handle's not super thick. It just 510 thousandths of an inch, so you can do a pinch cut to do some up close detailed cutting if you like that grip. So perfect there. Utility wise, it's a drop point, guys. The drop point blade profile is, at least in my opinion and many others, probably the most utilitarian blade profile there is. You've got plenty of straight edge to work with. You've got a nice belly section. You've got a nice pronounced tip. They did put this swedge on there, so it is fairly thin at the tip for piercing. You just can't argue with a drop point. Whether you like the look of a drop point or not, you can't argue with the utilitarian aspects of a good drop point design, and that's what this is. It may not be the sexiest, swoopiest, most cutting edge sort of design, but it is a classic and considered a classic for a reason. All right, so as far as utilities and ergo, no issues there. Let's bring this box back in here. And guys, other than the price increase that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, which is, again, up to you to decide whether this exclusive version is worth it. And other than the return policy issues that Blades Canada is having right now, that is not their fault and is totally a bureaucratic issue at the border, honestly, I think this knife is a good deal. Now, it's a Recon 1, and now that all Recon 1s are coming in CPM S35vn, what you're paying for that premium is exclusively just the blade and hardware finish. Now, I wish we could get these knives in the US at $99 in the satin finish, but we can't. So if it's worth it to you to pay an extra $30 to get that satin finish, then this knife will be worth it to you. If the $30 is too much and you would just prefer to get the standard DLC coated finish, then do that, guys. It's a Recon 1. I mean, it's a Recon 1. There is nothing about this knife to not love as far as I'm concerned. One of the best tactical folders on the market, one of the best that I've ever held regardless of price. I will never give up my personal Recon 1, and I know when Ed gets this knife in his hands, he's going to love it. So, yes, I can recommend this Blades Canada exclusive version of the Recon 1, even though it's a little pricier. I still think that it's well worth the money, guys. And, it's a cold steel product. It's a Recon 1. That's what you're getting, exclusivity of the finish aside. So, there you go, guys. Once again, I thank you all for taking the time to watch one of my videos. God bless all of you, and we will talk to you again.